Thanks everybody for coming to this Sustainable Fleets webinar today. This webinar is actually in response to some conversations that we had with dealers who participate in the HVIP program. They were interested in what they could tell their customers about how to use this Sustainable Fleets accreditation. And so that's the intention of this webinar. We wanted to make sure that those of you who are out there selling zero emission trucks, thank you for your hard work and everything that you do. And we wanted to give you just another tool in your toolbox for having conversations with fleets about making this investment. The analogy that comes to mind for me is, if a contractor is working on building a building, they might spend some time discussing with their client the benefits of a LEED certification. And we very often think about sustainable fleets as analogous to LEED, with silver, gold, and platinum accreditation and different benefits that come with it. So that is the goal here, that you would have something that you could mention to your customers as an added benefit of making the transition to zero emissions. As I mentioned, this group and this invite was really sent to dealers and manufacturers and those that are out there selling trucks. So there's not a huge audience of fleets or the general public here today. And because we have this sort of smaller and more intimate group, I really do invite you to raise your hand at any time, interrupt me and ask questions, put any questions or comments in the chat or Q&A sections. I think most of you folks know me, but my name is Nikki O'Kook, and I work on fleet engagement with the HVIP team here at CalStart. You guys are welcome to, of course, email me directly. I'll drop my email in the chat if you have questions later. And also Tracy, who's going to be really talking about how this program works, the Sustainable Fleet Accreditation Program. And her contact information is on the slide deck as well. We also have an interest form just right on the website, sustainablefleets.org. There's an interest form there that comes directly to our team. So if you don't think of a question today, feel free to submit them any of those other ways. The other thing that I wanted to mention here for you guys, oh, there's the website. Perfect. Thank you, Tracy. I'll start in on the slides. Just like I said, feel free to interrupt if you have questions. So our agenda for today, I'll give those of you I think already mostly know CalStart. I'll give you a little bit of background there. We can also, I'm going to talk a little bit too about market trends, and this is more as again something that you can talk to your customers about, and why sustainable fleets might be of a benefit to them. And then I'll get a little bit into the ACF regulation, which has just passed, which we hope it will also continue to drive sales and zero emission adoption. And then I'll turn it over to Tracy, and she'll actually get into what is it, how does it work, what are the accreditation levels. We'll talk a little bit about the complimentary CalStart membership that comes with it, and we will have time for Q&A. But like I said, interrupt me if you have questions in the meantime. So CalStart is a membership organization, and as you can see, among our members are some of the, the world's largest manufacturers, all the way down to some, medium and small size transit agencies. Fleets are joining every day. A lot of the companies that you folks on this call today here represent are also CalStart members. Part of being a CalStart member too, as a members organization, we provide services to those members, but it's sort of separate from that is our administration of the incentive funds for the state of California, state of New York, and city of Chicago. So here in California, we have this sort of host suite of incentive programs that we manage, including HVIP, which most of you are probably the most familiar with. It's been the longest in operation. That is for on-road truck and bus. The California Core program, which funds zero emission off-road equipment, including ag, construction, rail and port equipment, etc. We've got Energize for commercial vehicles. This is an infrastructure incentive funded through the CEC. And the Transforming Trucks, Transforming Communities campaign is actually an educational campaign. So alongside sustainable fleets is one of the many ways that we try to encourage fleets to start thinking about their transition to zero emission. So overall trends, we have just seen a year over year steep increase in the adoption of zero emission trucks, and also very encouraging, we have 136 models available for purchase across the country and across the world. The United States overall has committed itself to some very ambitious zero emission commercial vehicle goals, with the state of California leading the way, along with a group of other states who have signed on to an MOU to meet some of these goals. So there's lots of things that are both pushing and pulling the market towards zero emission, and we hope that your customers are sort of reading the tea leaves here and coming to you looking for solutions. The Advanced Clean Fleet Regulation. This has been a long time in the making, so we think that lots of folks have been paying attention to it. I think the reason that it is the most relevant here is that it's going to create a mandate for fleets of 50 or larger to hit some progressive goals for zero emission transition. One of the ways that they can accomplish that would be also through the fleets that they subcontract with. And I think that that is one of the places that sustainable fleets can play an important role. We are working hard to educate our sort of smaller fleet carrier participants about how they can sort of advertise that they have been sustainable fleets accredited, and that sustainable fleets accreditation will continue to follow the ACF benchmarks. Meaning if you are an accredited sustainable fleet, your customer might be looking for you because your customer, your client, your shipper, they need to meet those ACF benchmarks, and you can help them get there. So that's one of the overarching messages that we carry to folks when we're enrolling them in sustainable fleets, that this is an easy way for you to broadcast to the world that you're meeting these ACF benchmarks, you're exceeding them, and that contracting with those companies will get you overall on track to meet your goals. So speaking to exactly that point, some very large and well-known companies have made pledges to reduce their emissions in all scopes, and to that end, they are always looking for carriers. We've recently had some really interesting conversations, with the folks at places like Uber Freight and other brokers who are saying that they are seeing an increasing demand from their shippers for their orders to be fulfilled and shipped on zero emission trucks. And so to that end, we really hope that folks use the Sustainable Fleets accreditation to broadcast themselves, to advertise themselves, so that the shippers that want to do this can find them. We have a goal to, accelerate the transition, and we believe that by helping fleets, again, realize the real financial benefit of zero emission through acquiring new customers and things like that, that we're going to help them make the transition faster. We also have an overarching goal to become the industry standard, right? So right now, as it is, there's not necessarily a program or accreditation or badge or certification that a fleet can get that says we are meeting, California's ambitious zero emission transition plans. And we want to become the standard for how fleets across the industry are judged and ranked in their accomplishments. We also provide a great toolkit. It's not just about us evaluating them and giving them a badge. Tracy will get a little bit more into what comes along with the Sustainable Fleets program, but the goal is to give them a pathway, right? Wherever they are today is where they can start. We're going to get them on track to meet those ACF goals. And then lastly, as I keep emphasizing, helping the fleets that accomplish these goals find the customers that want to use them. All right, so I will go ahead and turn it over to Tracy, and she will talk a little bit about how the whole program works. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and raise your hand, drop it in the chat, or put it in the Q&A. Tracy, take it away.
Thanks, Nikki. Yeah, so right now I'll give you a little bit of an overview of the process for the Sustainable Fleets program. So it starts with evaluation. We'll have a fleet share their data, and their sustainability measures. And we want this to be a continuous improvement process. So we're going to have this be annual. And fleets in return will receive valuable insights, support, benchmarking statistics, all to help them increase their sustainability and move up the accreditation levels. So with that, we have recognition and promotion. So fleets that are achieving platinum, gold, and silver recognition levels can promote their achievements through, they get a badge, they get a marketing kit as well, which I'll talk about a little bit more later when we look at the benefits. So here we have an overview of the different program levels, and it's broken into two pieces. So we have our enrolled levels, and this is really for fleets who are maybe just starting out on their journey. So we have our committed level, which maybe a fleet doesn't have any zero emission vehicles yet, but they're signing on to ZEV fleet planning and looking to make that transition to zero emission. Next, we have the pathway level, which is 1 to 9% ZEV adoption, and on the pathway to even greater ZEV adoption as well. So next, we move into our ZEV accreditation levels. And this silver level, like Nikki mentioned before, this will align with ACF targets that are set. So right now we're starting with 10% ZEV adoption. And so 10 to 14% right now is silver, and this will get more stringent as the years go on following ACF targets as well. So for our gold level, we have 15 to 19% ZEV adoption and extra measures. So these are things like infrastructure, energy metrics, and also looking at community outreach. So other things that fleets are doing to go above and beyond just meeting the ACF levels. And then we have platinum, which is over 20% ZEV adoption, including these extra measures as well. Here we have the benefits for all fleets enrolled in the program. So this is both that enrolled level as well as the ZEV accreditation level. So all the fleets will get access to technical assistance and support with their ZEV planning as they're moving up the zero emission pathway. They'll get access to a CalStart ZEV resource hub that we've built out, which includes different tools, knowledge products, and shows funding opportunities as well. Fleets will also get access to a CalStart Basics membership. So this will help them connect with other members. We have various events and groups that they can join, and good benefit for them. And then they get a report card as well. So that will show them how they're doing in comparison to the ACF regulation. So where they are currently, what the next step is. It will also show them, if they have a certain type of vehicle, here's all the different models that are available for that type of vehicle in a zero emission option. Now we have additional benefits, which will be offered to accredited fleets. So again, that's that silver, gold, and platinum levels. So we're building out a ZEV Fleets for Hire list. Like Nikki said, we want to make sure that fleets are getting in front of shippers that are looking to meet their own ESG goals and want to hire zero emission fleets. We have an accreditation badge for their vehicles. You can see that on the right-hand side. We have a marketing kit, which I mentioned previously, to help them promote their accreditation on their website, social media, sustainability reports, and more. And then we are also offering high-profile recognition by both CARB and CalStart. And right now we are starting this program in California. So at this time, California fleets will receive sponsorship from HVIP to cover the annual cost of the program. So right now it's free to join, but fleets must re-enroll annually in order to maintain their accreditation and all of their membership benefits. And how to enroll. So when a fleet is ready to enroll, they'll go to the sustainablefleets.org/enroll. They'll complete the enrollment form. And once that's completed and they're in the program, we'll send them an introduction and send them their data collection form as well. And then we are there to answer any questions that they have. Our data and validation team can walk through the collection form with them, answer any questions. And then once that data collection form is returned, they'll get their report card back, and we'll do onboarding with both our member services team and the sustainable fleets team.
So if you guys want to just, take note of the website, take note of our emails, feel free to send fleets our way so we can answer questions